Yo, what is up, guys? Today I'm going to be testing out the proc rate of Thunderfury. I know I looked up online a couple of times and I couldn't even find videos on this myself, at least for Classic WoW. I heard it's 19% from people I've talked to, but no one's actually ever proven it, or I've never even seen it proved in a video at least, or even online. So today I'm going to test it. I think I'm just going to white swing attack this guy for 10 minutes. See how many times it procs in the details, do the math out, and see what the proc chance ended up being. As you can see, I got DFT yesterday. I was pretty happy about this. I literally got Title Charm, and then the day after I got DFT. I'm pretty happy about that as well. Uh, right as it turns 24, I'll just start white swinging. And I'll white swing until 12:30 or 12:34. So we'll have 10 minutes of white swings to try and get a good idea of what the proc chance is. And feel free, like once I start white attacking, if you want to like skip to the end just to see what the results are. I mean, I don't blame you. Alright, so it just hit 24, so right as it hits 34, I'll stop attacking. I'm not going to use any abilities, because if I use abilities, it could skew the data, right? Because your Thunderfury can proc off abilities, which will make it proc a lot more than just your white swings. Because we want to know just what the base proc chance of it is, right? If you're using abilities, you're not going to be able to tell exactly. And if I were you guys, 100% skip the end. I might talk about a few things. I might just sit here and chill. 10 minutes is kind of a long time. But I could talk about I don't know. Just gear in general, maybe, on what I think is good. A lot of people think that the rank 12/13 gear is biz for PvE. It's not. Not even close to biz for PvE. It's you lose about 100 AP using rank 12 and 13 gear. The only reason you use rank 12 and 13 gear is for the HP and PvP, right? Other than that, it's really not good, and it gives you a ton of armor too. So basically, like as a rogue, um, you're gonna die in stuns, right? So the only time you should ever really die as a rogue is in a stun, in like BGs and stuff like that, because people put dots on you, they just spell you, you get a re-stealth, you're fine, right? Mainly you'll die to like another rogue unlocking you, maybe a warrior charge and then bursting you down, a Hodge. That's why it's really good to be Orc. And overall, I think Orc is better for 1v1 situations, like duels and stuff like that. Orc is way better. But I actually think in BGs, I think Undead's better. I'm Undead. Just because there's so many different uh, classes that will just spam fear you, right? Because when you play Warzone, there's 2 or 3 warriors on the other team. They got 2 or 3. They got at 1 or 2 priests on the other team, right? They should have a warlock, at least one. You don't really want 2 warlocks. You would want one just for cursive tongues, right? So that's another person spamming fear. You got like you know 4 or 5 people that could spam fear you. So like when you're orc, if you don't have your insignia on, like, or if you have it on CD, you're just gonna be spam feared for half the fights, right? So So and when you have your insignia on as well, then you can do 2 fears. And I've had so many times where I've had Will the Forsaken down and this down from me using fears again, and then I get feared for a 3rd time. So you do get spam feared in BGs, but in duels and stuff like that, where you can control the situation a lot better, and you can, you know, when you don't have someone coming up from behind you and just pressing, you know, psychic scream, and you didn't even see him, right? In a duel, like, you control the situation a lot more, so Orc is a lot better because majority of the time a rogue will die in a stun. Basically, you won't die in a fear, but you're not going to be able to help your team in a BG, right? If you're feared, because you're CC'd. So, I think Undead's better for BGs. I think Orc's better for duels and 1v1 in general. It's also insane versus Pally, because if you resist a Hodge, like, there's no way that Pally can kill you. And the only way you ever die to a Pally is if they're ret and they have 5 stacks of Reckoning. They Hodge you, they use 5 stacks of Reckoning, and then you're like 20%, and then they just nade you out of the Hodge stun, and then they, you know, white swing you or judgment you or hammer a wrath you or whatever. And if they don't kill you there, then I guess they could try to repentance you low and hammer a wrath or something. I don't know. Paladins are ret paladins are really annoying to fight as rogue, because you got to kill them about 6 times to actually kill them. You got to force bubble. You have to force pop if they're gonna pop. Lay on hand. You know, they'll Hodge you. They can heal back to full if they're low, if they don't want to try to burst you. They could repentance you and heal. You know, they just have so many oh shit buttons, which makes it really hard to kill them. But overall, yeah, this gear is insane for PvP, just because you're just so tanky, man. But for PvE, what's actually biz for PvE is for dagger or for sword rogues, you want to use this 2 set, because you get the 2 set, which is 40 AP. You're gonna get this and boots. You either go shoulders boots or you go shoulders gloves, depending on what you value more. You lose a little bit of AP but you gain crit if you go on the gloves, and if you go boots, you gain a little bit of AP, but you lose a little bit of crit. So whatever you value more, depending on what your gear is, right? And then, like, if you're not 8 set, for chest, if you're swords, you're gonna want to still be using cadaverous chest, because you're getting 76 AP out of this. Like, that's just insane amounts of AP. Like, the tier 1 chest gives you 39 AP. So it's a difference of 76 AP to 39. Like, it's insane. But if you're daggers, of course you want to use this with 5 set, because the crit. This gives you 2% crit. So yeah, you get 2% crit here, but you're losing so much AP, and as a sword rogue, almost all your damage is going to come from your white swings, right? So that's just going to be the base damage plus your AP. So AP matters a lot more for sword rogue, whereas dagger rogue, most of your damage is going to come from backstabs, which if you're not critting your backstabs, right, you're not doing that much damage. So you want to have more crit as a dagger rogue. So they value crit a lot more than AP, and sword rogues value AP a lot more than they value crit. But yeah. I wouldn't recommend making, if you're wearing 5-piece, I wouldn't recommend doing it with the chest, because you want to use Skolo chest. And then if you're gonna use the tier 2 chest, I would wait until 8 set if you're swords, unless you really need the hit. Because even this, look, this is 38 AP, so it's actually even less AP than tier 1 chest, it just gives you 2% hit. So if you don't really need hit, I wouldn't use this until 8 set, but the 8 set tier 2 is this for swords. Let's look at the proc. Gives the rogue a chance to inflict 283 to 317 damage on the target and heal the rogue for 50 health for every 1 second for 6 seconds. So it heals you 300, and it does 283 to 317 damage, which is basically like a Hodge proc, like it's one of your white swings. And that'd be on your main hand too, not on your offhand. Your offhand would be less than that, but yeah, it just shows you how much damage. So you got about 1 more minute, so I need to actually start paying attention. If right as this hits 34, I'll stop attacking. And I can hit my stealth button. It has the stop attack macro on it, which is really nice, so you don't, like when you're trying to re, sometimes you'll auto on accident, and that'll make you, you know, not be able to stealth. It's a really good macro. I'll show it to you after. I just want to make sure I stop it right at 34. Alright. I'll show you the macro first. Also for PvE and for PvP, if you're not using a start attack macro, you guys really need to. It's really good. Because then you don't... Basically, if you're not using a start attack macro and you don't have enough energy to use Sinister Strike and you're spamming Sinister Strike, you won't be attacking. So you're losing out on a bunch of white swings that you could have got while you're waiting for your energy ticks. And your energy ticks are 20 every 2 seconds. And Sinister Strike, I think, is 45. It's 40. So that's 4 seconds where you wouldn't be attacking if you had 0 energy, right? So if you tried to attack at 0 energy and you're spamming Sinister Strike, but you don't have a start attack macro, it would take you 4 seconds before you could actually attack. Before you would start white swinging, which is pretty big. But the stealth one, right here. So I stop casting / stop attack / cast pound stealth. This is really nice if you're trying to get a read. I highly recommend macro. Every stealth. Alright, so let's look at the data. So it did 13.28 damage. Alright. So it does 306 damage for every hit, for every Thunderfury Proc. See if I can find it. So you can see the damage. Actually only hitting him for 299. He must have nature resistance. Or something. Usually it hits for 306. He must have some sort of nature damage or nature resistance. Glancing. And that's the thing about weapon skill, is it reduces your glancing blows. Okay, it looks like they're all hitting him for 299. So let's see. So 13,200 divided by 299. So 44.14 procs. We'll just say 44 to make it a whole number, because we don't actually know what the other decimals are, so you can't, you know. I'm assuming it's 44. If it's not 44, it's definitely 44. But, so 44 procs in 600 seconds. Right? Because it's 10 minutes um, 60 seconds a minute. So you had, in 600 seconds, you had 44 procs. So it'd be 600 divided by 44. You got 13. Well, you have a speed of 1.9, right? So every 1.9 seconds you do a white swing. So 600 divided by 1.9 is 315.7. So 315.7 hits of Thunderfury in 10 minutes, right? So out of the 315.7 hits, uh, it procs 44 times. So let's do 44 divided by 317. And it looks like it's about 14%, right? Just off of, no abilities or anything else. So it's a little bit less than what I heard, which was um, which was 19% is what I was told. But 14% is still pretty big, and this is also not including like doing a rotation, but yeah, this is just only off your white swings. So if you were doing like a full rotation, obviously it's gonna proc more because you can proc off your abilities, right? But it's in my offhand, so no, I think 14% is after that 10-minute test is what it would be. If you guys have any questions or comments, or think of there's a better way to test out the proc chance, or if you want me to make another video where I do full rotation and then see the amount of procs, and then figure out. Well, the thing is, if you do a full rotation, right, for 10 minutes straight, you'll never know how many white swings you actually did because you'll have slice and dice up, you would assume the whole time, which would increase your attack speed by 30%, but you wouldn't have it the first couple seconds when you're building combo points to get your slice and dice. So it wouldn't be exact by any means. But 14% just off of only your white swing, and well, here's the thing: is this it would proc more, right? So this is correct. Like it would proc more, but it's not because of the percentage. It's because you're using your abilities and stuff like that, right? And your attack speed would increase. But that wouldn't change the actual proc chance of your weapon. So overall, the proc of the Thunderfury would be 14%. Even though you would get more procs, it's because you have a bunch of other variables, such as, if you were using CDs, sweeping strikes, uh, if you had it in your main hand, you know, and then it could proc off your abilities, and then stuff like that. But overall, 14% would be um, the proc chance of Thunder Fury. Like I said, if you guys have any questions or comments, please let me know. If you want to see more videos on Thunder Fury, please subscribe. I will be doing a lot more testing and stuff like that. And I have gotten some really good comments on, some ways they could get better test results, and I'm all for that too. It's mostly for the science because I want to maximize, DPS. And there's not a lot of information out on the classic WoW Thunder Fury, so just let me know if you guys want to see other videos. just put it in the comment section, and I'll be sure to